Hello students, welcome to AriserTalent. Now we are going to talk about structure of DNA. Here is a diagram of DNA. Here we can see this is the double helical DNA present here. Okay, so let me tell you what is DNA. Actually the full form or expanded form of DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, so this was first isolated by a scientist, that was Frederick, in 1869, and generally he found it in the nucleus of pus cells. Okay, so let me write here what is DNA. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, this is DNA. First it was discovered by, first isolated by Frederick in 1869 in the nucleus of pus cells. Okay, so first it was isolated by Frederick, he was a scientist. Okay, and where did he found it? He found the DNA in nucleus of pus cells. Okay, what is the function of this DNA? Actually, this DNA carry genetic material, or we must say that it carries genetic material from one generation to the another generation. Okay, so let me mention here, DNA carries genetic material from one generation to another. Okay, so I mean to say that DNA carries all hereditary characters in the coded language from parents to the offspring. Okay, it carries hereditary characters in the coded language from parents to offspring. Okay, here we can see in the diagram, here this is the coded language. Here we can see TACGGC AAGC. So this is the TA. So this is a coded language. What is these? Actually these are genes. Okay, they carry the hereditary material. So we must say that this DNA carry the hereditary material in the coded language. This is the coded language here. Okay, so it is carrying the hereditary material from the parents to the offspring in the coded language. Okay, so what is the function of DNA? Function of DNA is to carry genetic material from one generation, means from parents to the another generation, means to the offspring. Okay, so whatever hereditary characters are present there in the mother and father, so it carry that special characters from the mother and father to the child. Fine, like color of skin, tallness, dwarfness, okay, type of hair, color of eye. So all those things are bring from parents to the offsprings by these DNAs. Okay, so here this is the function of DNA. Now DNA is known as polymer because it is made up of very large number of nucleotides. Here we can see that these are the nucleotide units. Okay, so thus we can say that DNA is made up of very large number of nucleotide units. Okay, this is the reason that it is known as polymer, because there is a chain of nucleotide units. Fine, and each nucleotide unit is made up of three components. They are deoxyribose sugar, generally that is made up of what? That is made up of pentose sugar. Then nitrogenous base, that nitrogenous base carries what? Guanine, cytosine, thymine. Okay, so these are the things which are found in the nitrogenous base, and another is phosphorus group. So phosphorus group contain what? Phosphorus group contain 1 atom of phosphorus and 3 atoms of oxygen. Clear? So this is all about the DNA. Now let me define here. DNA is a polymer. Okay. DNA is a polymer because it is made up of many nucleotide units. Okay. As it is made up of very large number of nucleotide units. Okay, and each unit contains 3 components. Each unit contains 3 components. 3 components. What are they? They are deoxyribo sugar. One is deoxyribo sugar. Okay, deoxyribose sugar. Actually, it is the pentose sugar. Fine. Then it is made up of nitrogenous base. Nitrogenous base. And third component is phosphorus group. Okay. So here let me tell you about the deoxyribose sugar. Generally it is a pentose sugar. It is a pentose sugar. Okay. Then nitrogenous base, it carries what? It contains adenine. Okay. Then guanine, cytosine and thymine. Okay. Then phosphorus group. Phosphorus group contain 1. It contains 1 phosphorus atom, and 3 oxygen atoms. Okay, so this is all about the DNA. Here we can see there it is the structure of double helical DNA. Okay, generally this DNA was first discovered or first isolated by Frederick. He was a scientist and he found the DNA in the nucleus of pus cells. Clear? Now what is the function of this DNA? Generally this DNA carries hereditary material in the coded language. Here we can see that each DNA is made up of many very large number of nucleotide units. Okay, here these are nucleotide units, and these nucleotide units are made up of 3 components, and these units carry the genetic material in the coded form. Clear? Here we can see G, C, A, T, A. So these are what? These are nitrogenous bases. Okay. So this was all about the structure of DNA. Now we will talk about genes. Okay. So here we studied about the DNA. As I told you that in the DNA, genes are present on the DNA, or we must say that gene is a part of DNA. Okay, next we will talk about the genes. What are genes? Genes are actually the segments of DNA, okay, that carry the sequence of nucleotide units and they carry the hereditary units. Okay, so let me tell you what is gene. This is the structure of gene. Here let me first define you that the position of a gene on a chromosome is the locus. Here we can see these are the chromosomes. Okay, these are chromosomes and these are centromeres. Fine. So these dark parts are known as genes. What are genes? Genes generally carry the hereditary material. Okay, so we can say that genes are hereditary unit, a segment of DNA which carry the sequence of nucleotide units. Okay, and they form or they synthesize proteins. Okay, proteins here are enzymes. Fine. So here we can see that these are the structures of chromosome. One chromosome from egg means maternal horizon and one chromosome from the sperm means the paternal horizon. Okay, and these dark parts are genes here. Genes are what? They are carrying the hereditary material. Fine. So here we can see that this A is locus for gene A. Now what are locus? Position of a gene on a chromosome is the locus. So here A is what? A is the position of gene here, or where? On the chromosome. This is locus. Fine. In sexually reproducing organism, most cells have a homologous pair of chromosome, one from each parent. Yes, we know that every human being, whether it is male, whether he is male or she is female, they all carry 46 chromosomes. Okay, they all carry 46 chromosomes, from which 44 are autosomes. Okay, they are common in both male and females, but two pairs of chromosomes are different in male and females. What are they? They are sex chromosomes. Okay, so in male they are XY and in the females they are XX. So here it is saying that in sexually reproducing organism, most cells have a homologous pair of chromosomes. Yes, they have homologous, means 44 pairs are homologous. Okay, so here the structure of genes, the structure of chromosome which is explained here, it carries these genes. Fine. Then chromosome from a homologous pair have genes that control the same trait at the same locus. Here this is the locus. Okay, locus means the position where the genes are located in the chromosome. Fine. So it means to say that all the chromosome from homologous pair, means 22 pairs are there, 44 chromosomes which are common. So they have genes that control the same trait at the same locus. Fine. So this is all about the gene. Now what is gene? So genes are hereditary units or segment of DNA. Okay, genes. What are genes? Genes are hereditary units, segments of DNA, that carry a sequence of what? A sequence of developing characters. Okay, that carry that having sequence of hereditary or sequence of nucleotide units which form specific protein. Okay, a sequence of nucleotide units that determine a specific biological feature. Okay, means each gene contain what? That contain hereditary material in the coded language. Fine. So here gene is carrying the hereditary material in the coded language, and then as I told you that it is the sequence of nucleotide units that determine a specific biological feature. So this gene which is carrying the specific character, which is carrying the specific hereditary material, which carrying specific function, so he will, matlab this gene will specify the particular feature. It may be color of hair, it may be color of eye, it may be type of hair, okay, it may be color of skin, it may be tallness, dwarfness, etc. So this is all about the genes. Okay, now next we will talk how the sex is determined. Okay, how the sex is determined, or how do traits get expressed. First of all, we will talk about how do traits get expressed. Okay. So here we can see that cellular DNA is the information source for making proteins in the cells. First of all, as I told you that DNA carries genetic material from one generation to the other generation. So here as we are talking about the how do traits get expressed, how the species get expressed. So first of all, the DNA, we will talk about the DNA, that DNA is the information source of making protein in the cells, because DNA is the site for protein synthesis because it carrying genes. Fine. So DNA make protein in the cell. Now the DNA present in the gene, the DNA, as I told you that the DNA present in the gene causes or tells the tallness of plant. Fine, because it contains the genes of what? It is containing genes of tallness here. Fine, so it will show the tallness of plant. Now plant hormone is responsible for dullness. Okay, then more hormone. Why the plant hormone is responsible for dullness? As we know, in the plants there are different types of hormones, means enzymes are present which causes tallness or dwarfness. Fine. So here we will talk about the auxin, that is the specially hormone which is responsible for the growth itself. Fine. So here plant hormone is responsible for dullness. The more hormone will be there, the more growth will be there. Means if the auxin will be released by plants in the excess amount, means then only the growth of the plant will be more. Fine. So here genes makes the hormones. We all know that hormones are what? Hormones are synthesized. Enzymes makes the hormone. What are hormones? Hormones are the chemical substance present in the plant. Fine. And these are synthesized by these enzymes. What are enzymes? Enzymes are generally produced by the or synthesized by what? They are synthesized by genes here. Okay, then DNA or gene makes the enzyme. The reason is, as I told you, that enzymes are making hormones here, and these enzymes are synthesized by DNA or gene because they are synthesizing protein, and the enzymes are what? They are the type of protein only. Then if any alteration in gene is there, okay, then definitely it will affect the growth of the plant. How it will affect? It will make new enzyme. Fine. As in my previous lecture also, when I told you the law of Mendel's, and that before I told you the monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross, that time also I gave you the explanation that everything like tallness or dwarfness of the plant depends on its enzyme only, okay, or depends on the gene only. Fine. So if any alteration comes in the gene, then a new enzyme is formed. Fine. In that case, character of tallness will affect it. That time when I told you monohybrid cross or dihybrid cross, that time when I told you in F1 generation, generally the tall plants were, all the plants were tall, because that time tallness was what? Tallness was dominant. Okay, in that case tallness of plant was dominant. But if any case this gene is affected, or the gene of tallness is affected, or there is any alteration in this gene, then this make the new enzyme, and that time this character of tallness will be affected. How it will be affected? Because that time the enzyme, other enzyme is produced, then only that enzyme will be, that enzyme will be dominant, then it will produce new character. Clear? In the Mendel's experiment, we also have studied that when he chose the plant from tallness, then when he choose the character of tallness, then in F1 generation all the plants were tall because that time the character of tallness was dominant, okay, and dwarfness was what? It was recessive. Now here when we all know that the DNA is carrying the genetic material, fine. So here when it synthesize proteins in the cell, then DNA presence in the gene carry tallness in the plant, clear? But if any case the tallness or there is any abbreviation or there is any alteration in the gene, that time that tallness will be affected. Why? Because the new enzyme will produce what? Whatever the alteration is there in the gene, it will make new enzyme, okay, and that new enzyme will be what? That new enzyme will be produced and then it will produce a new character, fine. So this is how do traits get expressed, how do different traits get expressed, fine. Now we will talk about sex determination, okay. Okay, so this was all about the how do traits get expressed. Now we will talk about sex determination. Next topic is sex determination. Okay. What is sex determination? Actually, it is the mechanism of determine the sex of an individual at the beginning of the life. Okay, what is sex determination? The mechanism of determining sex of an individual as the life begins, okay, or at the beginning of the life, okay. This is known as sex determination. What is sex determination? Means as the life begins. When will be the life begin? When the male gamete means sperm and the female gamete means ova will get fused, okay. Then after the fertilization, zygote will be formed, means it will develop in the embryo. So it will determine at that time the sex will be determined of that particular offspring, that it will be a baby boy or it will be baby girl, fine. So this all mechanism is known as sex determination, fine. So as we all know that there are 23 pairs of chromosomes in each sex, means whether male or female, okay. So out of 23 pairs, 22 pairs of homologous chromosomes are there, and one pair is known as sex chromosome. Okay, one pair is sex chromosome and 22 pairs are homologous chromosomes, which are common in both male and female. Okay, so let me define you. If 23 pairs means 46 chromosomes are there, okay. If 46 chromosomes are there, so out of 46, if we talk about male, then it will be 22 means 44 plus X and X in the female. This is all about the what? This is all about female. Okay, and if we talk about male, then in the male, chromosomes will be like 44 plus XY. Okay, and this XY and XX here, these are known as sex chromosomes. Okay, these are sex chromosomes. This XY is sex chromosome and here XX is sex chromosome. Okay, so this is the division of 46 chromosomes in female and male. Now let me tell you how the sex is determined. When male gamete and female gamete. Okay, male gamete means sperm and female gamete means ova or ovum, get fused with each other. Okay, so generally it carries how many chromosomes are there? Total 46 chromosomes present in the male gamete. Okay, so here let me tell you 44 plus XY, okay, in the male and 44 plus XX chromosome in the female. These are what? These are chromosomes. Okay, these are chromosomes. So spatially how the sex is determined? When they get fused with each other. Generally male gamete has two types of chromosome, one is X and another is Y. This X is common in both male and female, but the difference is what? This Y. This Y will determine that it will be baby boy or baby girl. Fine. So when this X will get fused with this ova which carry X chromosome, okay, then it will form XX, okay, means it will form XX means baby girl, okay, or when it will be fused with XY then it will form baby boy. Okay, now let me explain you in the expanded form. These are 44 plus XX, okay. So division will be 22 plus X and here also 22 plus X, okay. These are the chromosomes and here 44, sorry, this is Y and here will be Y. 44 plus XX in the female, okay. So it will be 22 plus X and it will be 22 plus X. Fine. When there will be fusion between them, when this sperm will get fused with this egg, then it will make 44 plus XX, okay, and it will be girl child. It will be girl child. Fine. Again, when this sperm will get fused with this ova, then it will form, again it will form 44 plus XX means girl child. Okay. When this sperm will get fused with this ova, then it will form 44 plus XY means boy child. It will be boy child, okay. And when this sperm will get fused with this ova, again it will form what? It will form 44 plus XY, okay, means boy child. Okay, so these XY, especially these sex chromosomes decide or determine the sex of the offspring. Okay, and this complete process is known as sex determination. Clear? 2 girl child and 2 boy child. Fine. So this is all about the mechanism of sex determination. Hope everything is clear to you. Thank you.